Harden your arteries and get set for Reanimator Night on the Graveyard Shift. We've got end-of-the-world news.
Basically the worst parts of the Bible.
Emma Tom reveals the worst way to bite the big one.
To be dismembered while you're still alive.
Then there's the original Thing. Reanimating fingers and some tips on decorating your flesh to excess. Good evening, Shifties. I'm Tabitha, and tonight on the Graveyard Shift, it's Reanimator Night with two unwelcome entities coming back to life. First, we're welcoming the creeping flesh back from the dead. I gotta love that stop frame technique. That's followed by the Thing from another world. Frozen in ice, he thaws out and wreaks havoc on a military camp in the North Pole.
What if that aircraft came here not just to visit the Earth, but to conquer it? To start growing some kind of horrible army?
Then you'll be the first to die. That's the Thing in a minute, but first, this.
We have to go.
We have one helicopter to hold 7 people.
The big one's coming up fast. You're gonna die if you stay here.
Deep Impact is the latest Hollywood disaster to go ka-ching in a major way. It raked in $42 million in its first weekend. The story goes that 2 big comets are heading for Earth.
We need the arming coach for the last 4 nukes.
Being Hollywood, of course, lucrative ideas come in twos. Armageddon is basically the same deal, except it's an asteroid instead of a comet.
It's this new one you're tracking. How big?
It's the size of Texas, Mr. President.
Now, extraordinarily enough, as Shifties probably already know, these films are actually based on some fact. The Earth has 139 impact craters, and during any human lifetime, the chance that the Earth will be hit by something large enough to destroy crops worldwide is about 1 in 10,000. Hey, it wiped out the dinosaurs.
I don't think the enjoyment of the movie is necessarily dependent on whether or not it could happen. I think it's probably just a good ride of the movie. You know what I mean?
In Deep Impact and Armageddon, astronauts are sent up to drill holes in the falling rocks and blow the suckers away.
Hitting the rock from the outside will do the job.
So, we nuke this thing from the inside? How?
We drill. We bring in the world's best deep core driller.
According to the Anglo-Australian Observatory, there is a 2 to 3% chance of a small asteroid, approximately 200 metres in diameter, hitting us every 100 years. If one does hit in the Pacific, it would trigger a tidal wave 100 metres high that would sweep across the cities of the Pacific Basin and throw up a dust cloud that would block out the sun for at least 3 months.
It's what we call a global killer, the end of mankind. Half the world will be incinerated by the heat blast, and the rest will freeze to death in nuclear winter. Basically the worst parts of the Bible.
Okay, The Creeping Flesh was made in 1973 and directed by Alexander Cordas, camera operator Freddie Francis. This film is not to be confused with The Creeping Terror, which has one of the most appalling monster suits ever, a giant carpet. Anyway, here Peter Cushing stars as a mad scientist in possession of, or perhaps by, a strange skeleton that can reanimate itself by growing flesh in a creeping fashion. Cushing had won a Georges Méliès Award the year before for his work in Tales from the Crypt, which was also directed by Freddie Francis. So they're teaming up again here. The fabulous Christopher Lee also appears here as Cushing's evil brother who runs an insane asylum. Mad scientists, mad doctors, what more could you ask for? Well, how about some sibling rivalry?
Things have changed. It was always you who was destined for great success, whereas I was only the poor, hard-working half-brother whom you had to put up with. Now it is I who am the success. I intend to win that prize, Emmanuel, and the prestige that goes with it.
There is also a tense subplot involving Cushing's wife, an ex-Follies Bergère dancer and a somewhat loose woman. Of course, she is punished severely for this, as is her daughter, who attempts to follow in her footsteps. When this film was released, it was slammed for being too British and moralistic. One critic of the time said that the film suffered from the somewhat squalid bourgeois morality which affects so much British art, the implication that all expressions of spontaneous vitality must be punished. So, that's why I hate Jane Austen. Interesting stuff. Of course, Christopher Lee is the one to watch. No repression there.
Well, I don't know. There is the question of professional ethics.
Oh, indeed, indeed. That is why I shall have to employ someone for whom ethics have no significance.
Oh, isn't he lovely? Lee's been a bit of a dark sex symbol for years, since his portrayal of Dracula in the early 70s version. All up, Lee has appeared in over 130 movies, including Police Academy 7 and Charles and Diana, A Love Story. Oh yes, he's a master of the horror genre. Here it is, The Creeping Flesh.